The earth wants us to be channels for her. The earth wants us to learn how to listen to her voice and to bring those messages into our actions, our expressions, and our interactions with others.
Hello and welcome back to Remember Why You're Here, a podcast for seekers and sensitives where you can relax, receive, reconnect to yourself, and remember the most important thing of all, why you're here. I'm Asia Suler, Earth Intuitive, author, teacher, and channel. So I have been using channeling in my work now for a decade. I started teaching channeling a couple years after I really began incorporating it into my work. So I've now been through many years of guiding other people through learning how to channel. And I really find it to be just one of the most helpful tools, not only in intuitive work or in creative work, but just in life in general. It's one of those practices now I tune into on a daily basis. I use channeling for creating podcast episodes, clearly, especially my intuitive readings, but just episodes in general. I use channeling to create my classes, to help me make decisions in my life. It is one of my absolute favorite tools, and it's something I'm really passionate about helping other people to access. In large part because I truly believe we are all channels. Human beings are natural channels. And so this is not a skill that is reserved for the elite. In fact, it's a skill that is innate to all of us, that we can all access, and that when we can access in this way, when we have the tools to know how to channel, we can just lead these lives that are so much more graceful, so much more supported. We can move through the world with this feeling of confidence and clarity. This has been up for me in a really big way this past fall as I've been on this sabbatical, writing my second book, because there's this level in which all creativity is channeling. Good creativity, the kind of creativity where we're like, where did that come from? Or we see a painting or we hear a song and we're like, wow, this is connecting to me to something I can't even name. How did they come up with this? That's channeling. And there's all different things we can channel, all different ways we can channel. And I go into that, into the recording I'm about to share, how to start channeling. But to me, that's where all the richest art really comes from. So while I have been deep in research this fall and in scholarship and experiential things while I write, I'm also channeling constantly all the time to bring this through. I was reflecting on this in particular because when I made this recording, it was right before my last book came out. And so it just felt like such a sweet thing to reshare now as I step into creating this next book. And as I realize that I've taken everything I've learned through writing that first book, my first book, Mirrors in the Earth, I've taken everything that I've learned in writing Mirrors in the Earth, and I have now expanded upon that. In this next book, I've taken the practice that I had of channeling, this practice that I didn't even have a name for at first, but realized with time was channeling these messages from the earth. And now I'm wielding it consciously, and it's been really incredible to see what happens when you become a conscious channel. And that is just so much of what this guide is about. So if you are interested in how to start channeling, keep listening, because I'm going to detail the steps for you to begin to step into this channel that is uniquely your own, this channel that you are.
In my last decade of working as a teacher, writer, and practitioner, I started to realize something. The information that was coming through me wasn't coming from me. It wasn't coming from my mind. I realized this because I would be in session with a client or I'd be teaching a class, and all of a sudden this information would come through me, and it was deeply healing, not only for the person I was speaking with or the class I was sitting with, but for me. Receiving that message and that information was a healing experience unto itself. And I started to realize as the years went on that this is channeling. Now, I firmly believe that we all have this ability to channel. I'm not special in this way. Every single one of us here on this planet is a channel, and we're all really being called to inhabit that specific channel now. This is your guide to stepping into the channel that you are. I used to be freaked out by the concept of channeling when I was younger. I thought it meant giving over conscious control of yourself, your body, your personality, and that it meant opening up to entities that I really didn't know anything about or frankly wasn't even sure I could trust. Then I realized something. Channeling at its most basic is just opening to a wider wisdom than what we can access with our conscious mind. And the fact is, we're all doing it all the time. So if you've ever gotten dressed up for a date and you were really feeling your fierceness or thinking about like a movie star or a rock star who you wanted to embody, that's channeling. Or maybe you had to give a speech and you thought about a mentor or a teacher who really means something to you in your life, and you were bringing that energy into your body and into your speech. That is also channeling. The key is to become a conscious channel, to really decide who and what type of energies you want to embody, what you want to channel or bring into your life. So we all have the ability to tap into our wider wisdom, aspects of yourself, your wider self, your higher self, your divine, or perhaps any beings in the non-physical world or physical world that you feel drawn to or look up to. You can bring that energy into your body, into your life to help guide you make better decisions, to live out the full authenticity of yourself, and to really find and isolate the choices in your life that hold the most light and potential for you. So what is channeling? Really, at its most basic, channeling is just a frequency shift. You can feel it, like in that example of going out on a date or being about to give a talk. You can feel your energy shift. And so this frequency shift is you deciding to tune into a different kind of energy, a wider energy, an energy that you really want to embody and feel in your life. For me, true healing channeling is stepping into wiser, loving, benevolent energy and letting that energy move through me to heal me and to help me in my endeavors. So when we shift our frequency or our energy in this way to be open to channeling a certain energy or frequency, for example, you could decide to channel an old growth tree. It doesn't always have to be that you're channeling an archangel or one of your guides. You can channel anything. That's the beauty of channeling because everything has energy. So when you decide to open up to channeling, you can also receive life guidance, receive support in making decisions, and overall just infuse your life with a different feeling state. So how do you start channeling? How do you start consciously channeling? Well, I think the best way to start is to get clear in your intentions of who or what you want to channel or interact with. When we get specific with our intentions, we're actually directing our energy. We are making this direct energetic connection to that entity or that energy that we really want to embody. Once we get clear on who or what we want to channel in our life, then that's the time to call in your circle of protection. So you can call in colors, you can call in guides, perhaps animal guides that are in your life, ancestors, any beings in the physical or non-physical world that feel protective to you, that help you feel that sense of safety. So you're going to call in that circle of safety. And this is really just helping to support you in making a clear connection to that energy that you are wanting to channel. So once you feel that connection is open, and over time, you'll learn how to really tune into the subtlety of that. But I know for me, it often feels like a relaxing. I can sense my mind starting to quiet down a little bit and almost like an eye dilating or a camera lens opening. I sense myself expanding in this way while another part of my mind quiets down. So once you sense this connection is open, that's when you can drop into the active channeling part. So I recommend either starting with written or spoken channeling. So this is just a way for you to translate what you're feeling into words you can revisit later. So when you do written channeling, you just get a piece of paper, and once you sense that you're in that soft, receptive, connected state, you just start writing. And I think it's good to set a timer for something like 5 minutes so you don't put too much pressure on yourself that you're going to download a whole manifesto. Just give yourself 5 minutes and write stream of consciousness. So get your pen on the paper and don't lift your hand until that timer is up, and just see what comes through. Try not to think about it as it's flowing through you. Don't judge it or evaluate it as it's moving through you. Just keep writing, and then you'll be able to read it at the end. What I have found about written and spoken channeling is that after I read it or listen to it back, it's often actually quite simple. And sometimes people get discouraged looking at this and think, well, this is so simple. Like, for example, might say something like, we want you to love yourself or spend more time outside. But the thing is, you're not looking for the complexity of the words. You're looking for the energy behind them, because that's really what you're bringing in and capturing through these words, whether you're writing them or you're speaking them. So if you want to do spoken channeling, you can just get your phone or any other recording device like a computer and just press record and start speaking. So for me, it helps to close my eyes or otherwise have a soft gaze so I'm not so focused on the world around me. And again, I just start speaking and I keep speaking and I try to just continue on. If at any point you get stuck, whether writing or speaking, try repeating the same thing. This will help you actually attune your mind to the energy that's coming in and makes it so that the flow can continue on. When you feel complete or when the timer's up, take a moment to thank the energy that you've connected with, and then after your channeling session, immediately after, or take some time later, and then go back and look at what you wrote. Sometimes it will take some time for it to really land with you. Again, it's the energy that you're looking for, and the energy that we're really wanting to pinpoint here is this energy of loving non-judgment and benevolence. The energies that you want to channel, the entities that you want to channel, that is the energy that they're going to hold. And I often recommend for people, if it's their first time doing this, to just try and tune into your wider self or your higher self, whatever term makes sense for you. The part of you that has the bird's eye view, to tune into that part of you, that's a very safe, solid feeling place to start. And from that place, you can be pretty clear that if something comes in that has a tinge of judgment or criticism to it, you can be sure that you weren't actually channeling this being of love and light that you had intended to channel. And you know what? That's okay. We're all in a process of learning how to channel what we want to channel. For example, instead of channeling the news we heard that day or channeling the patterns we had from childhood, as I said, we're all channeling all the time, so we're just learning how to change the channel, literally, how to change our frequency to channel what we want to channel. So if what you wrote or what you spoke had that tinge of judgment to it, or there's a way in which it doesn't make you feel good, then you can know it just wasn't quite the right channel. And that's totally okay, because you're learning how to do this and you will try again. You will know that it's the right channel, that it was the energy you wanted to connect to, because no matter how simple the words are, the feeling of it will make you feel good. It will make you feel expansive, free, understood. Even when the guidance or the information is around something like a life change or something we need to shift, there will still be an aspect of it that just by hearing it, it will make you feel free. And that's how you know you've got the good stuff. My job for the last 10 years has been all about working in tandem with the earth to channel healing for people, whether that's making medicine, teaching classes in wild spaces, or working one-on-one with clients. And over the last 10 years of working intimately with the earth in all these ways, I have learned something. The earth wants us to be channels for her. The earth wants us to learn how to listen to her voice, to listen to the plants and the animals and the stones, and to bring those messages into our day-to-day lives and to bring them into our actions, our expressions, and our interactions with others. To listen to her voice, to listen to the plants and the animals and the stones, and to bring those messages into our day-to-day lives and to bring them into our actions, our expressions, and our interactions with others. Humans have this unique ability to both intuit information from their surroundings, from the living world, and then to use their intention and their incredible abilities of communication to pass that information on, to share it with others. The bedrock of any change is culture, and the way that we create and shift culture and revolutionize culture is through this intuitive connection. It is through this ability to speak to the living world, to the wider world, to understand the messages it's bringing us, and to infuse those messages into creating the kind of lives and cultures we want to be a part of. Over this last 10 years of working intimately with people, plants, stones, and the living world, I have had amazing experiences of self-revelation and healing in tandem with the natural world. And I'm so excited now to announce that those experiences and the profound messages that this earth is passing on through me are now available in my first book, Mirrors in the Earth, Reflections on Self-Healing from the Living World. This book has been a true labor of love, and it's been a healing experience. It's been a channeling experience. And how do I know that? Because writing it has healed me. The book is about this core concept that the earth wants us to learn about ourselves, to understand ourselves, and to embrace ourselves with compassion, because it is through learning self-compassion that we step into the gifts we are here to bring to this earth. The book is a series of reflections given to us from the natural world that show you just how good you are, how precious and how worthy, by looking at all of the natural processes going on around us, the natural magics of the earth, reflect back to you just how natural and magical you are. So now I would love to hear from you. As I describe channeling, are you realizing that you actually have had an experience like this before? What was that experience like? And I'm particularly curious, now that we've talked about this idea of being a channel for the earth, have you ever received a message from the earth, maybe from a plant or an animal or a landscape? And if so, what was that message? What came through for you? The things that we each receive are essential and vital. We are all receiving a part of the healing, and together, when we each bring forth what we've experienced, what we've heard, what we know to be true, and what the earth has given us, we can become a part of healing the whole.
So I hope that this guide was helpful for you. If you begin to channel, I would love to hear more about how that has gone for you, what comes up, the messages you receive. You can leave me a comment or head over to asiasuler.com/remember and leave me a voice note. And if you're interested in being guided to connect with the earth, to specifically use writing as a form of channeling to access the earth's wisdom and ignite your creativity, I have an online nature writing workshop and series of magic lessons called Writing the Earth's Voice. This 4-module course was designed to help you connect with the sentience of nature so you can really understand the nature of your creative gifts. Inside the course, I guide you to make direct contact with your healing guides in nature. I help you tap into your abilities as what I'm calling an earth oracle so that you can understand more about your unique creative gifts. I will walk you through channeling earth energy for healing and revelation, and really walk you to the door of this enchanted world that we live in so you can access the stream of guidance and wisdom that lives in the earth, because you are here to play a unique part in the earth's evolution. And writing the earth's voice, the channeling and the creativity that we undertake within this special writing workshop is here to help you understand that unique part. I often say that this workshop is like spending the afternoon in a magical cottage at the end of the woods. So if you're interested in a cozy experience of stepping into a flow state of creativity and communion with nature, head on over to my website, asiasuler.com, and check out that course there. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being the channel that you are. What you are bringing onto this planet is so important. It's so necessary. And the light that you embody just by being who you are is the biggest force of healing you could ever bring to this planet. So thank you. And may all these connections that you're making, may all of the energies that you tune into and channel, and all the ways in which you're expanding your understanding of who you are, help you remember that most important thing of all, why you're here.